Hello everyone, Lissa here, and welcome to the Astrology Zodiac chat channel. We're going to start with Aries as promised for you and cover some of those early degrees. And remember we said to liken them to an infant response or something in infancy when you're new to a sign or a degree or an experience. And Aries is considered the infant of the zodiac to begin with, so if you have any 0 degrees in Aries, you might have already noticed some traits in yourself that you can respond like that. So let's get started. If you have Aries at 0, 1, or 2 degrees in any of the early positions, it might have the greatest influence on that childlike behavior. Consider a detriment in Aries. Say that the sun was in Aries, and Aries is already known as a bold and brave sign and courageous, and the sun is life force, okay? So perhaps this 0, 1, 2 degrees in Aries will give you this naive, youthful feeling about your abilities. It could be overwhelming Aries energy that you might mismanage. You might overestimate your abilities. You might find yourself injured frequently because you're like, oh, I can do that. I can risk take. I can get that done. When actually that's a detriment to your sun, your life energy, because Aries has got that bold, strong fire energy, and the sun is fiery too. So you just go at it without pause, recklessly even. On the other hand, if you harness that in just a little bit and you have those early energies with some good placements throughout the zodiac, since the sun is your life force, this placement could just make you bold and strong-willed and have little fear. Perhaps there'll be a hiking instructor or a mountain climbing instructor, something like that, because you'll be confident in your abilities and bold and fiery and everything that you can imagine Aries and Sun. So that same placement could have beneficial angles, which it could accentuate your personality, and you could have new adventures and a high degree of excitement with those adventures. So the opposite side of that coin, that same placement with Sun at 0 degrees Aries, could have accentuate your traits, and you'll be bold, and you won't be homesick if you move away to college. You'll look for new adventures. Your comfort zone, you'll just be like, let's go. I'm not even considering the fact that I've lived in Florida all my life and I'm gonna move to Alaska and I don't have a coat. You're just going for it. It's just Aries just says, let's do it. So it might seem exciting, and in that placement you could just forge ahead. If you have strong supportive placements there, you'll probably meet things much simpler than if you have some challenging aspects on that Aries side. You don't want to hit those bumps along the way, especially related with the sun and your life force. Okay, so pretend now that you have that in Mercury. You have 0 degrees Aries in your Mercury, or 1, 2 degrees, an early degree. So Mercury is the communicator of the zodiac, and Aries is bold and brazen and bravado to begin with. So consider how you would think that would work. Perhaps communication, you're just out there and you're not considering others' feelings, and you're just, it's my way, I'm going to communicate rough in an abrasive kind of manner. And if it's positively enhanced, maybe people will follow you and listen, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm going to follow this person. They're a great leader and they're a great communicator. But if it's negatively enhanced, it could be, people could shy away from that and think that you're just a little too aggressive. Or consider if your Venus were in Aries in your relationships, you walk up to someone that you like and you say, hey, you're going out with me. There's the Aries way, and that communication's not there. And if they say no, you may not take that as gently or as kindly as you should, and just bow out and respect that. You may aggressively, be offended and things like that. So these early degrees, it's important to find out where they're at so you can see how your relationships, how your communication, how your life, in general would be progressing. I know that on a positive side of the Aries at 0 and 1, 2 degrees, again, in a relationship with Venus, no holds bar. Aries likes to brag. They like to be showy. They like to give people gifts and let them know what they have. So it can be a lavish first date, even, for that matter. They'll pull up in a rented vehicle, or something that'll show that fire energy and try to make their partner happy, even early on in the relationship. And you can easily see a pattern now of how it's happening, like with the toddler kind of aspect on it. If it's a little easier. Again, in a Venus position with an early degree on Aries, will there be the best communication? You'd have to see how your Mercury placement looks, because if you had both Venus and Mercury in that early degrees of Aries, there might be a lot of yelling and over talking and demanding, rather than that jovial, calm communication that, often helps relationships survive. So that bold, youthful, uninhibited attitude can be a benefit if you're, say, a Wall Street trader. Your voice needs to be heard. Shyness isn't something that, you can have in a position like that. So again, once you know your placements, you can find relationships and occupations and things to accentuate them, rather than, having a timid sign or something that leads your communication and trying to have a job that requires somebody with that bold Aries nature in it. So as you can see, those are only a few examples so far of the Aries, and hopefully you're getting a grasp already on how that could impact the other planets. The moon, perhaps, is your emotional moon. If it's in Aries at an early degree, your emotions will be uninhibited. Think of like a childlike behavior. If someone takes their toy or takes their ball, it's more tantrum related than it is, hey, would you like to see my toy or something? They're not going to respond with that necessarily. The same goes for the other planets. Take Jupiter, for example, at the early degrees in Aries. Jupiter's our expansive planet. Are you going to maybe overindulge and eat like a child? Have tons and tons of sugar just because you want that, rather than planning, and having a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle? Pluto, the dark side. Are you going to be involved in things that are a little on the shady side and underground, and you'll be proud of it because you're Aries, you're bold, you're proud? Or are you going to be outspoken about people that are like that, to the point of shouting it from the rooftops of that you disapprove? There's that Aries energy. You have to consider how yours and other aspects impact it. Saturn, again, Saturn is government and things that are governed or related to power and change, things of that nature. Would you necessarily want your military leader to be 0 degrees Aries in Saturn? Maybe, because he'll be bold and aggressive, but will he have the forethought, he or she, to have the forethought to consider all aspects of what might happen, running in blindly to the war zone or something like that? Consider Uranus the same way at 0 degrees or in early degrees of Aries. Your unexpected events. You've got water events. You have ships sailing, things that are associated with Uranus. How you would attack those at a Aries energy level at an early degree. Would you rush right in and just dive into the deep end of the pool? Probably. Can you swim? Who knows? But you got that Aries energy. You're going to try. Could it be reckless? Yes, if you can't swim. But maybe on the other end of the coin, you got that early Aries energy. You're a good swimmer, and you're at the ocean. You see someone struggling on the beach. You're the first one in the water. You're going to take that chance. You're going to take the risk. Let's go for it. So you can see how you could implement some of those early degrees in Aries. Again, if you have any questions, any planets in Aries in your chart you still quite don't understand, or things that have happened in your life that you might want to look into a little deeper, there's a link below in the description. I'd love to read for you, so just go ahead and contact me if you're interested. And we'll check the other videos for any other planets that you might have in the early degrees. Thanks for watching.